Happy Valentine's Day! Yes, it's that time of year again, and I thought it might be fun to look back on a few of the items in my collection that have to do with Valentine's Day, and specifically Valentine's Day and Jabba the Hutt. Because after all, who better exemplifies the spirit of Valentine's Day than an intergalactic gangster slug? So first of all, I'd like to look at this collection of 32 Valentines that was put out by Drawing Board Greeting Cards back in 1983. Now, if we look at the cover of this box, first of all, there's a number of very interesting aspects of this illustration of R2-D2 and C-3PO. First of all, you notice that R2 has a red eye there. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a heart in there. It doesn't look like it even in person. Maybe it's reflecting the hearts that are sort of surrounding them here. But it looks a little bit like he's just filled with murderous rage. So that's an interesting choice there. Also, by the way, if you ever look at an illustration of R2-D2 and you see this little bracket here, this was actually made just so that the R2-D2 model or prop sort of wouldn't fall apart. You know, it was keeping the leg to the body there, and it should never actually appear in any illustrations or anything like that. But a lot of people didn't know that, especially at the time, and thought that this little bracket here was part of the design. Looking over at C-3PO, he's got a horribly misshapen elbow here. I don't know what's going on with that. That's really scary. But anyway, these were obviously Valentines for children to give to their classmates in school. You can tell particularly because it has the contents here. It says 28 classroom Valentines, plus 3 teacher and 1 principal. Envelopes included, non-mailable. So the idea was, of course, well, if you're American, you're probably familiar with this, although many schools maybe don't do this as much as they used to. You would make Valentines for everyone in your classroom, and, you know, pretty much you had to give them to everyone so that no one would feel left out. And you would just sort of put them in a little mailbox that you would often make as a sort of class activity. And you'd get Valentines of various types. They still do that, certainly, at many schools today as well. Although the principal Valentine, in particular, is a little bit of an unusual one. We'll take a look at that in a minute. On the back, it just gives you like a sample Valentine, which we'll look at in more detail later. You can also see 1983 there, Drawing Board Greeting Cards. Now, unfortunately, this box, well, it's not unfortunate exactly, but this box is sealed, and I can't find my loose Valentines. I do have them somewhere. One problem of having a large collection is just organization. I am not very good at that. But I do have photos of them all. So let's go ahead and take a look at them, shall we? First of all, we have Jedi Luke and R2-D2. On Valentine's Day, may the Force be with you. Well, that's not the most original sentiment for a Star Wars card of any kind, but I guess it's okay. Luke does have some rather rosy cheeks here. Next up, we have a Valentine's Day that's out of this world. Wow, how did they come up with these guys? Really, really creative. Next, we have Darth Vader and the Imperial Guards saying, "Have a happy Valentine's Day, or else." Well, at least that actually makes sense with the character. I kind of like that one better. Next, we have a couple of teacher cards. This one has C-3PO and some Ewoks and says, "On Valentine's Day, teacher, have a royal time." This one actually shows more awareness of the subject matter than a lot of the other cards do because obviously the Ewoks worshipped C-3PO. Next, we have Yoda. "Happy Valentine's Day to the best teacher in the universe," it says. Now, you notice that they didn't even make an attempt to make it sound like Yoda was actually saying that. But whatever. Next up, we have Chewbacca, a rather worried-looking Chewbacca, actually, saying, "Happy Valentine's Day, teacher. I think you're great." Okay. We also have the principal one, starring Max Rebo Band, "A Valentine's Day note to a nice principal. Hope it's happy." It seems like they were going out of their way to just be very vague and non-threatening or something here. In reality, of course, any principal at the time, and even today, would probably be too busy trying to figure out who these weirdos on the card were to worry about whatever message was written on it. Finally, we have Jabba himself on what is clearly the best of these Valentines. And it says, "You are commanded to have a happy Valentine's Day." And for some reason, no matter how many times I say this to my wife, it just doesn't seem to work. Yeah. So now that we've looked at some Valentines from 1983, which is 34 years ago, believe it or not, I thought it might be fun to look at some Valentines from a bit more recent time. That is 2013 to be specific. I picked this up back then. This is a very Vader Valentine's Day, put out by Scholastic. And this is a book, but it also includes Valentines inside. In fact, you can see here it says it includes jokes, activities, comics, exclamation marks, includes 36 removable cards. So yeah, that's quite a few cards, isn't it? It's not really Vader-centric in any meaningful way. It's just, I think they were going for the alliteration there. But in any case, this is a book filled with artwork by Katie Cook, who is pretty well-known artist. She's done a lot of Star Wars related things, very cute style that I like a lot. I have an artist sketch card from her, actually. She does these sketch cards with teeny tiny little artwork on them. Seriously, it's about an inch wide, but well, the card itself is bigger, but the artwork is very small. This one shows Jabba and Rota the Hutt with a little heart above them, which I thought was appropriate. So if we want to look at the book itself, it's got little, background text there, especially about, oh, looky here, Jabba and Salacious Crumb. And it's also got Star Wars jokes. What could be better? What do you get when you cross an elephant with Darth Vader? An elevator. Which Star Wars character works at a restaurant? Darth Vader. Those are very similar jokes, actually, aren't they? Why was Chewbacca avoiding the princess? Because he was afraid she might lay a kiss on him. Yeah. I remember this kind of joke from when I was a kid. There's some comics. Some word searches. Feel free to just freeze frame and print that off if you want to do that later. Although you'll notice that Hutt is one of the words. A little short art lesson if you want to learn to draw. Ooh, we have what appears to be a Mad Lib. Nice. And finally we have a maze. You can help Boba Fett get to his bounty of candy hearts. And then the cards themselves. Let's look at those a little closer, shall we? You are too good for me. Oh, too good to me. That's a little bit different, isn't it? I want to be the droid you're looking for. Well, that's cute. I'll have to say already these are off to a better start than the vintage cards. It's just, they're more clever. Yoda one for me. Happy Valentine's Day. You light up my life. Okay. Misa wants you to be my Valentine. Be mine. That's kind of generic, isn't it? On the back, they just have to and from. So, these are school Valentines in the same way as the other ones. For a second, I thought this was a ninja. This Valentine is fully armed and operational. I love you with all my heart. Join me, Valentine. I want to wrap all my arms around you. Quit playing games with my heart. Interestingly enough, this is something I say around our house all the time to my kids. There's a bounty on your heart, and I mean to collect. And, oh, there's another page. I really want you to be my Valentine. You're my only hope for a happy Valentine's Day. Valentine, don't make me spend the day solo. The force is strong with you, Valentine. Oh, isn't that the same as the vintage one? That's interesting. Our love will endure. That's a bit of a stretch, but okay. And you hold the key to my heart. Yeah, these are pretty clever. I mean, definitely show maybe a better understanding of the characters. I feel like the vintage ones, maybe the people writing them barely understood Star Wars at all. And Katie, of course, is very familiar with Star Wars and the characters and so forth. So I'm not sure. Well, to be perfectly accurate here, it says it was written by Trey King, so he may have been the one responsible for the actual text there. But in any case, well done. Well done. I like these quite a bit. So I hope you enjoyed this short look at Star Wars Valentines. There's certainly more I could do, but maybe we'll save that for next year. What do you say? Until then, have a happy Valentine's Day and stop playing games with my HUD.